and calling people to you. Even as we have this session of adding value to us as business and career people, I pray that as we start it, it will be a continuous thing and it's going to add value to people, and gradually we will see the result. Thank you for the BPM as a team, the chairman and everybody. I pray you're going to give them the wisdom to be able to grow us and help us in this regard. And I pray that every business person, every career person will see a need to be a part of it and bring what they have to bear so that together we can build one another. Be with us this afternoon, that all that we do will add value to us and your name will be glorified. We thank you. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuto. So without much ado, we're just going to kick off. Now we're going to watch this. Please pay rapt attention. After the video, we're going to have, there are two special guests that we've invited. The first one is Mrs. Taye Kuto. She's going to come to share about her business. She's actually going to be giving 5-10 minutes to share. And then we've got another incredible woman who is rising, who is coming up strong, our own Joy Osemeke. Let's give her a round of applause. She's actually going to come to share about discipline in the work environment. Discipline in the work environment. You know something? BPM is not just about those who have already grown. It's also about those who we are seeing that are doing it right. She works for the church, and I can tell you for free that she understands discipline in the work environment. So we're going to have these two people share. But before then, we're going to watch the video. I want each and every one of us to please pay rapt attention, because discipline is everything if you must make it in your career and in your business life. Let's have a beautiful time. Thank you. Okay, I think okay.
Disciplines for success. What's at the core of achieving the good life? The major key to the good life. The major key is not in learning how to set goals. It is not in learning how to better manage your time. It is not in mastering the attributes of leadership.
Volume, please.
Every day in 1,000 different ways, we are trying to improve ourselves by learning how to do things. We spend a lifetime gathering knowledge in classrooms, in textbooks, in experiences. Now, if knowledge is power, if knowledge is the forerunner to success, then why do we fall short of our objectives? Why, in spite of all our knowledge and in spite of our collective experiences, do we find ourselves aimlessly wandering, settling for a life of existence rather than a life of substance? There may be many answers to this question. Your answers may be different than your associates or your spouses or your friends. While there may be many answers to this question, the fundamental answer is the absence of discipline. Applying all that we know. That's the key word, discipline. Self-discipline. We might add one more word here, consistent. consistent self-discipline. It doesn't really matter how smart you are or how much you know if you don't use it. It doesn't really matter that you graduated magna cum laude if you're stuck in a low-paying job. It doesn't really matter if you attended every seminar that comes to town if you don't apply what you've learned. Better than knowledge is applied knowledge. And once we've applied our knowledge, we must study the results of that process. Apply our knowledge, study.
Sorry, the technical crew are battling with the sound. Let's just give them a little time. Okay, they said the volume is on red, maybe is on mute. Maybe they should unmute it. Sound crew, please check that out. Okay. While the technical crew is battling that, let me just be giving us a little bit, a little background about the BPM. I was talking about the ExCos, those who are generally managing BPM. We have the man who opened up with a word of prayer, Mr. Ernest Kuto. He is a member of the BPM management. We have Mr. Gordon Isiakpere. He was the immediate past chairman of BPM. We have Auntie Wumi Adiela. She's a member. We have Mrs. Chioma Ome. She's a member. We have Mrs. Laraba Bobai. We have Mrs. Folusho Dibo. We have Mr. Frank Onoa. We have Goke Adejuwon. We have Kini. We have Mayowa Bamigboye. We have Shola Abaton. We have Adejo Odekina. These are myself. We are the 13th member of BPM management. Now, but outside that, we equally have what I will call crew, BPM crew. It also still has Kini being part of that. She helps with the admin, making sure that a whole lot of information goes around. We have Joseph. Joseph heads the technical crew for BPM. Then we have Muhyiddin. Muhyiddin also is part of us in the crew. Then we have Oyinda Mola, and then we have Babs. They are learning. They are learning, and they are basically assisting. Yeah. Okay. Okay, to manage the time well, to further manage our 1 hour very well, a smart suggestion
key to the good life.
That while
the major key is not in learning how to set goals. It is not in learning how to better manage your time. It is not in mastering the attributes of leadership.
Now, we will listen to them. If not,
every day
we wanted
in
to take some of the
ways, we are trying to improve ourselves by learning how to do things.
Give us their sharing, but I would have loved us to watch first before they share. But if the technical crew are taking some time, then we might actually call one of our special guests to quickly come and give us a pep talk about being disciplined, consistent self-discipline as a panacea for business growth. Consistent self-discipline. How has she applied consistent self-discipline, in her business that is gradually showing upward curve? Because some people are waiting that you need to be the billionaire before you can share. That's not correct. As soon as you see something that is going right, you can tell the next person that I'm applying this and it's working. So if you don't mind, maybe we're just going to get one of these special invited guests. Let me be sure that she's ready to share right now.
It is not in mastering the attributes of leadership. Every day in 1,000 different ways, we are trying to improve ourselves by learning how to do things. We spend a lifetime gathering knowledge in classrooms, in textbooks, in experiences.
Are you ready, or we should go
Now, if knowledge is power, if knowledge is the forerunner to success, then...
Video is already playing. Can you see it?
Okay, so let's start from beginning, and then let's increase the volume. Thank you. I can see the video. Let's start it from the beginning, and then let us increase the volume. Thank you very much, technical crew. Yep.
Is the camera off?
Disciplines for success. What's at the core of achieving the good life? The major key to the good life. The major key is not in learning how to set goals. It is not in learning how to better manage your time. It is not in mastering the attributes of leadership. Every day in 1,000 different ways, we are trying to improve ourselves by learning how to do things. We spend a lifetime gathering knowledge in classrooms, in textbooks, in experiences. Now, if knowledge is power, if knowledge is the forerunner to success, then why do we fall short of our objectives? Why, in spite of all our knowledge and in spite of our collective experiences, do we find ourselves aimlessly wandering, settling for a life of existence rather than a life of substance? There may be many answers to this question. Your answers may be different than your associates or your spouses or your friends. While there may be many answers to this question, the fundamental answer is the absence of discipline. Applying all that we know. That's the key word, discipline. Self-discipline. We might add one more word here, consistent. Consistent self-discipline. It doesn't really matter how smart you are or how much you know if you don't use it. It doesn't really matter that you graduated magna cum laude if you're stuck in a low-paying job. It doesn't really matter if you attended every seminar that comes to town if you don't apply what you've learned. Better than knowledge is applied knowledge. Attributes of leadership.
Okay, I can see the video now, so let's start now.
Leadership. Every day in 1,000 different ways, we are trying to improve ourselves by learning how to do things. We spend a lifetime gathering knowledge in classrooms, in textbooks, in experiences. Now, if knowledge is power, if knowledge is the forerunner to success, then why do we fall short of our objectives? Why, in spite of all our knowledge and in spite of our collective experiences, do we find ourselves aimlessly wandering, settling for a life of existence rather than a life of substance? There may be many answers to this question. Your answers may be different than your associates or your spouses or your friends. While there may be many answers to this question, the fundamental answer is the absence of discipline. Applying all that we know. That's the key word, discipline. Self-discipline. We might add one more word here, consistent. Consistent self-discipline. It doesn't really matter how smart you are or how much you know if you don't use it. It doesn't really matter that you graduated magna cum laude if you're stuck in a low-paying job. It doesn't really matter if you attended every seminar that comes to town if you don't apply what you've learned. Better than knowledge is applied knowledge. And once we've applied our knowledge, we must study the results of that process. Apply our knowledge, study the results. Refine our approach. Finally, by trying and observing and refining and trying again, our knowledge will inevitably produce worthy results, admirable results. And with the joy and results of our efforts, we continue to apply, to learn, to observe, to fuel our ambition with the positive reinforcement of continued progress. Pretty soon, we'll find that we're swept into a spiral of achievement, a vertical rise to success. And the ecstasy of that total experience makes for a life of triumph over tragedy, dullness, and mediocrity. But for this whole process to work for us, we must first master the art of discipline, self-discipline, consistent self-discipline. It takes consistent self-discipline to master the art of setting goals, to master the art of time management, to master the art of leadership, to master the art of parenting and relationships. If we don't make consistent self-discipline part of our daily lives, the results we seek will be sporadic and elusive. It takes a consistent effort to truly manage our valuable time, or we'll be consistently frustrated. Our time will be eaten up by others whose demands are stronger than our own. It takes discipline to conquer the nagging voices in our minds, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of poverty, the fear of a broken heart. It takes discipline to keep trying when that nagging voice within us brings up the possibility of failure. It takes discipline to admit our errors and recognize our limitations. The voice of the human ego speaks to all of us. Sometimes the voice of ego says that we should magnify our value beyond our results. It leads us to exaggerate, to not be totally honest. It takes discipline to be totally honest, both with ourselves and with others. Be certain of one thing: every exaggeration of the truth, once detected by others, destroys our credibility and makes all that we say and do suspect. As soon as a business colleague figures out that we tend to exaggerate, guess what? They'll always think we exaggerate, and they'll never quite hold us in the same regard again. Never. The tendency to exaggerate, distort, or even withhold the truth is an inherent part of all of us. It starts when we're kids. Johnny says, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it." Well, maybe Johnny didn't do it, but he probably had something to do with it. And then it continues when we're adults, exaggerating the benefits of a product to make a sale, exaggerating our net worth to impress old friends, exaggerating how close we are to closing a deal to impress the boss. And only an all-out, disciplined assault can overcome this tendency. It takes discipline to change a habit, because habits are formed a little bit each day, every day, every day. Once habits are formed, they act like a giant cable. They act like a nearly unbreakable instinct that only long-term disciplined activity can change. We must unweave every strand of the cable of habit slowly and methodically until the cable that once held us in bondage becomes nothing more than scattered strands of wire. It takes the consistent application of a new discipline, a more desirable one, to overcome one which is less desirable. It takes discipline to plan. It takes discipline to execute our plan. It takes discipline to look with full objectivity at the results of our applied plan. And it takes discipline to change either our plan or our method of executing that plan if the results are poor. It takes discipline to be firm when the world throws opinions at our feet. It takes discipline to ponder the value of someone else's opinion when our pride and our arrogance leads us to believe that we are the only ones with the answers. With this consistent discipline applied to every area of our lives, we can discover untold miracles and uncover unique possibilities and opportunities. Now, if discipline is the key word and if discipline is the key action, then what exactly is discipline? One good answer might be that discipline is a constant human awareness of the need for action and a conscious act by us to implement that action. Discipline is an awareness of the constant need for action and a conscious act to implement that action. If our awareness and our implementations occur at the same time, then we begin a valued sequence of disciplined activity. Now here's the other side of discipline. If there's considerable time that passes between the moment of awareness and the time of our implementation, then that is called procrastination. Procrastination, doing it tomorrow instead of today. Procrastination, an almost exact opposite of discipline. The voice within us says, get it done. Discipline then says, do it now. Do it to the best of your ability, today, tomorrow, and always, until finally the worthy deed becomes instinctive. Procrastination says later, tomorrow, whenever I get a chance. Procrastination also says do what is necessary to get by or to impress others. Do what you can, but not what you must. In every circumstance we face, we are constantly presented with these two choices. Do it now or do it later. Discipline and procrastination. A choice between a disciplined existence, bearing the fruit of achievement and contentment, or procrastination, the easy life for which the future will bear no fruit, only the bare branches of mediocrity. The rewards of a disciplined life are great, but they're often delayed until some time in the future. The rewards for the lack of discipline are immediate, but they are minor in comparison to the immeasurable rewards of consistent self-discipline. An immediate reward for lack of discipline is a fun day at the beach. A future reward of discipline is owning the beach. For most, we choose today's pleasure rather than tomorrow's fortune. So how can you get rid of the easy distractions? How can you keep your mind on what you're trying to do? How can you keep an attitude of doing it all and doing it now? How can you make the choice of discipline over procrastination? How can you stay focused on your ambitions? How can you avoid conversations at the water cooler? You can keep your focus on your work. You can get it done today instead of tomorrow. You've got to really work on your consistent self-discipline on a daily basis, or you'll find yourself distracted. Distracted by negative thoughts, distracted by negative people, distracted by water cooler chatter, and pretty soon, depending on the type of people you've associated with, distracted by your doubts within yourself. Never underestimate the power of
projector is even up. It's up. Wow. Eh?
Is there anything I can do to assist?
No. The only thing is, if they need more time, I'll tell people to be sharing. That's just the only thing. But I would have loved where they finish watching and then people can share because it will influence what they share. So that they are not just sharing from their own myopic whatever. Share from the general level of whatever.
I wish we had a test room.
Maybe next time we should have done a test run. I think even when these people were doing their stuff, we should have been doing our test.
Disciplines for success. What's at the core of achieving the good life? The main
No, from where it was. From where it stopped. From where it stopped. From where it stopped.
the other side of discipline. If there's considerable time that passes between the moment of awareness and the time of our implementation, then that is called procrastination. Procrastination, doing it tomorrow instead of today. Procrastination, an almost exact opposite of discipline. The voice within us says, get it done. Discipline then says, do it now. Do it to the best of your ability, today, tomorrow, and always, until finally the worthy deed becomes instinctive. Procrastination says later, tomorrow, whenever I get a chance. Procrastination also says do what is necessary to get by or to impress others. Do what you can, but not what you must. In every circumstance we face, we are constantly presented with these two choices. Do it now or do it later. Discipline and procrastination. A choice between a disciplined existence, bearing the fruit of achievement and contentment, or procrastination, the easy life for which the future will bear no fruit, only the bare branches of mediocrity. The rewards of a disciplined life are great, but they're often delayed until some time in the future. The rewards for the lack of discipline are immediate, but they are minor in comparison to the immeasurable rewards of consistent self-discipline. An immediate reward for lack of discipline is a fun day at the beach. A future reward of discipline is owning the beach. For most, we choose today's pleasure rather than tomorrow's fortune. So how can you get rid of the easy distractions? How can you keep your mind on what you're trying to do? How can you keep an attitude of doing it all and doing it now? How can you make the choice of discipline over procrastination? How can you stay focused on your ambitions? How can you avoid conversations at the water cooler? You can keep your focus on your work. You can get it done today instead of tomorrow. You've got to really work on your consistent self-discipline on a daily basis, or you'll find yourself distracted. Distracted by negative thoughts, distracted by negative people, distracted by water cooler chatter, and pretty soon, depending on the type of people you've associated with, distracted by your doubts within yourself. Never underestimate the power of influence and associations, and never underestimate the power of your own consistent self-discipline. Now let's take a closer look at discipline, at the 3 steps to becoming disciplined. First, true discipline is not the easiest option. Most people would rather sleep until 10 o'clock than get up at 6. It's easier to go to bed late, sleep late, show up late, leave early. It's easier not to read. It's easier to turn on the television than to open a book. It's easier to do just enough than to do it all. Waiting is always easier than acting. Trying is always easier than doing. Imagine what life would be like if we didn't have to make our bed in the morning, or keep our garage clean, or pay our taxes, or show up for work tomorrow. Wouldn't it be fascinating if we didn't have to do these things? Wouldn't it be fascinating? What do you suppose would become of us? You're right. Not much. For whatever the reason, the system we live in and contribute to is designed to make the easiest things in life the most unprofitable. Profitable seems to be the most difficult. Our world is and always will be a constant battle between the life of ease and its momentary rewards and a life of discipline and its far more significant rewards. Each has its own price, the price of discipline or the price of regret. We will pay one or the other. What we wish we had done is the voice of regret, speaking in a sorrowful tone at a time when there is no going back. This is regret. No second chance. No what would I do differently. Choose one or the other, but both will have their price, the price of discipline or the price of regret. One costs pennies, the other a fortune. Dostoevsky said, "There are hundreds of young men who would die for the truth, but very few who would spend 5 years studying to know what the truth is." Dying for the truth is much more dramatic than the discipline of studying it one little piece at a time, one day at a time, 1 month at a time. But in the big picture, is dying for the truth really easier than adhering to the daily disciplines? The first lesson of discipline is that it isn't the easiest option. The second lesson of discipline is that it's a full-time activity. And we've said that the best form of discipline is consistent self-discipline. You see, the discipline that it takes to make your bed every day is the same discipline necessary for success in the world of business. The discipline to organize your garage is the same discipline to organize your business. All disciplines carry through to affect all parts of our lives. If we're disciplined in just one area and lazy in another, guess what? Pretty soon the lazy side will creep in and destroy the disciplined side. The bad habits in one area of our life will eventually destroy our self-discipline in the areas we've been working on. Consistency cannot be inconsistent. Discipline is the mind being trained to control our lives. Discipline is a set of standards which we've selected as a personal code of conduct. Discipline is imposing on ourselves the requirements for honoring these standards. Once we've adopted these standards of behavior and conduct, we're committed to honor them. And if we don't, then there can be no disciplined activity. We find ourselves announcing our standards to our relatives, our friends, our associates. We shout our beliefs and condemn those who believe any differently, but then we don't walk the talk. We end up acting in a way far different from the beliefs we've shouted. We tell our kids that the TV is rotting their minds, yet we spend our evenings in front of it. We tell our employees that they must take advantage of every minute of the working day, yet we spend 3 hours at lunch. Do as I say, not as I do. This is inconsistent. This leads to a loss of credibility among those who watch us. And more importantly, this leads to a loss of credibility within ourselves. The only thing worse than one who is inconsistent in applying their self-imposed disciplines is one who has never considered the need or the value of discipline at all. These people seem to wander aimlessly, changing procedures, changing standards, changing loyalties, and shifting frequently from one commitment to another, leaving behind a trail of broken friendships, unfinished projects, and unfulfilled promises, all because of a discipline that was either non-existent or imposed so infrequently that it was ineffective. Here's the third step to becoming consistently self-disciplined. Number 1 is realizing that discipline isn't the easiest option. Number 2, discipline is a full-time activity, day by day, every day. And the third step to becoming self-disciplined is really a philosophy that holds one of life's unique promises. Number 3 simply says, for every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward. That's one of life's great arrangements. It's like the law of sowing and reaping. In fact, it's an extension of the biblical law that says if you sow well, you reap well. Now here's a unique part of the law of sowing and reaping. Not only does it suggest that we'll all reap what we've sown, it also suggests that we'll reap much more. Life is full of laws that both govern and explain behaviors. But this may well be the major law we need to understand. For every disciplined effort, a multiple reward. For every disciplined effort, a multiple reward. What a concept. If you render unique service, your reward will be multiplied. If you're fair and honest and patient with others, your reward will be multiplied. If you give more than you expect to receive, your reward is more than you expect. But remember, the key word here, as you might well imagine, is discipline. Everything of value requires care and attention. Everything of value requires discipline. Children require discipline. They must have a structure built for them. They must have boundaries to work within so they feel secure and comfortable to explore and grow. They must learn to recognize what's right and what's wrong, what's acceptable behavior, what's not acceptable. Children require unwavering discipline, consistent discipline, or they'll be confused as to how they're supposed to behave. Likewise, our thoughts require discipline. We must set up our inner boundaries, our codes of conduct, or our thoughts will be confused. And with confused thoughts, we'll end up being confused, hopelessly lost in the maze of life. And confused thoughts produce confused results. Look around you at this very moment in time. What might you be doing that needs attention? Perhaps you're listening to this program as you drive along in traffic, blowing your horn at someone ahead of you who isn't driving at the speed you'd like to. Perhaps you're listening alone because you've had a disagreement with someone you love or someone who loves you, and your anger won't allow you to speak to that person. Wouldn't this be an ideal time to examine your need for a new discipline? Perhaps you're on the brink of giving up or starting over or starting out, and the only missing ingredient to your incredible success story in the future is a new and self-imposed discipline that will make you stay longer and try harder and work more intensely than you ever thought you possibly could. The most valuable form of discipline is the one that you impose on yourself. Don't wait for things to deteriorate so drastically that someone else must impose discipline into your life. Wouldn't that be tragic? How could you possibly explain the fact that someone else thought more of you than you thought of yourself? That they forced you to get up early and get out into the marketplace when you would have been content to let success go to someone else who cared more about themselves? Your life, my life, the life of each one of us is going to serve as either a warning or an example. A warning of the consequences of neglect, self-pity, lack of direction and ambition, or an example of talent put to use, of discipline, self-imposed, and of objectives clearly perceived and intensely pursued. Now, can too much discipline be a bad thing? Can you possibly be too disciplined? Too much of anything is a bad thing. Life without balance results in an unbalanced life. Walking around the block every day is good. Walking or running 6 hours a day is bad. It's obsessive. Unless, of course, you make your living as a marathon runner. Then you're doing your job. Eating an apple a day is good. Eating only apples is bad. You won't get all the protein and vitamins and nutrients your body needs. Working hard, burning the midnight oil, doing it until is good. Working nonstop, never taking a vacation, never having any fun, never spending quality time with the people you love, working day after day, month after month, never taking a break year after year, is bad. If you've got your nose to the grindstone all the time, how are you ever going to spot new opportunities, consider new ideas? It doesn't work that way. You've got to stop and ponder where you've been and where you're going. You've got to reflect so you know if you're even on the right track. Everyone has heard the story of Willy Loman in the play Death of a Salesman. Willie was a workaholic. He typified the old-fashioned concept of success. After all, if you're always working, you must be successful. No, it doesn't work that way. For workaholics, there's never enough work. They can work 10, 12, 14 hours a day, take 2 jobs, work them back to back. The only satisfaction is fighting off sleep, denying life's pleasures, getting more tasks done. Some people are impressed with this type of behavior. But just because a workaholic spends too much time working, that doesn't mean he or she ends up with the most money. These people are generally more task-oriented than results-oriented. They're busy being busy, not busy being productive. Workaholics generally end up alienating their families, losing their health, facing a crisis of values. Now, wouldn't you prefer a life of productivity rather than a life of tasks? Of course. When you schedule your time and take advantage of your time, you can work smarter instead of working longer. And you'll probably end up getting more done than the workaholic. And still have time for other things in life. Enlightened self-interest says, I will look for new ways to work smarter by focusing on doing more per hour instead of doing more hours. It says I will run my day so my day doesn't run me. Enlightened self-interest also says that a life worth living comes from a life of balance and moderation. Too much of anything, even good things, will sooner or later throw you off track. Now, here's a key technique that you can use in your life to help keep you on the right track. This technique is called visual chain thinking. Ambitious people don't see each step toward their goals as a singular step. Each discipline as a singular discipline. Each project as a singular project. Each sale as a singular sale. With everything they do and with every discipline they adhere to, they see it all as part of a chain. A link in the chain of events and actions that will lead them to their final destination. Every action and every discipline today is a link in the chain. Every action and every discipline tomorrow is a link. Every action and every discipline in the future is a link. When you can see that every link in the chain will eventually lead you to the things you want most out of life, to the person you want to become, then you won't grow discouraged or fearful or impatient with today. When you can see where you're going through visual chain thinking, even on the toughest days, you'll keep building your ambition by knowing where you're going, not just where you are today. Part of this visual chain thinking is built when you decide on your direction, when you can see where you're going to end up before you get there. When you can see California while staring at the east side of a 14,000-foot mountain. And building your visual chain of thought begins when you have well-defined plans for your career, your family activities, your investments, and your health. Your plans and goals are your visual chain, knowing where you're going before you get there. Develop a plan, a game plan. It's ironic how we all understand the importance of mapping out a strategy for a football game or a basketball game. Not one professional team in the world begins a game without a complete strategy. But few of us take the time to map out a strategy for our lives, a game plan. But it's important. Here's the first rule for your game plan of life. Don't start your day until you have it finished. Don't begin your activities of the day until you know exactly what you plan to accomplish. Don't start your day until you have it planned. And do this every day. I know all this writing takes time and a disciplined effort. But remember that value is the fruitful result of discipline, not hope. Once you've mastered the art of planning your day, you're ready for the next level. Don't start your week until you have it finished. Don't begin your activities of the week until you know exactly what you plan to accomplish. Don't start your week until you have it planned. Just imagine what life would be like if you took time out of every Sunday to plan your week. Come Friday, you won't be saying, "Boy, did this week fly by. Where did it go? What did I do?" No, if you plan your week before you start it, you'll know exactly what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, what you need to work on. If you learn to plan your days as part of your overall game plan for the week, the parts will fit much better. Your days will be better, more effective. You'll be working smarter, not harder. And when you've learned to plan your week, guess what? You've got to plan your month. Don't start your month until it's finished. By developing a game plan for your days, your weeks, your months, by developing and following your game plan, your days and weeks and months all become part of a bigger plan, a bigger design, a long-term view of your life, a visual chain. You'll start gaining a greater perspective of it all because you are planning. It takes great discipline on your part, but it will soon lead to a new habit, a habit of mastering your time, a habit of discipline that will lead you to the good life. Now, if visually seeing the future is new to you, if you've never developed a game plan before, let me offer a few tips. There are two things that you need to understand before you create a game plan. Number one, a game plan, a visual chain of your future, is like a spreadsheet. Instead of listing numbers, you list activities. It's like a to-do list. And number two, the technique of developing a game plan can be used for a single day, a single project, or a variety of projects that are happening simultaneously. Here's how you do it. First of all, you need to buy a pad of graph paper. Game plans work best on graph paper. So take a sheet of graph paper and make vertical columns of the number of days this plan is to cover. Then on the left-hand side of the paper, write the heading, Activities. Under this heading, list all of the activities to be accomplished within your time frame. Let's say, for example, that you've got 1 week to finalize a marketing plan. It's an overwhelming amount of work to complete, but it's got to be done. So break it down piece by piece. The best way to start is by listing all of the individual components on the left-hand side of the page. Now, some of these things need to be completed before others can be started. You need to have your market research results in before you can determine your target market. You need to know your target market before you can develop your marketing strategy. You need to have your marketing strategy before you can create a budget for collateral materials, and so on. When you break down the project piece by piece, deadline by deadline, you can be more effective in delegating the appropriate pieces of the puzzle. And you can be more effective in doing your own work while orchestrating the rest. The final result of developing a visual chain, your game plan, is a clear visual presentation of the tasks before you. Keep your game plan in plain sight. Put it up in your office where you can easily look at it. Have a copy of it at home and tape it to the refrigerator. Keep a copy in your journal for quick reference. Your game plan will serve as a constant reminder of all that you need to do to get where you want to go. If you're doing all that you're scheduled to do, game plans are very rewarding. And the discipline of developing and following a game plan is exciting. Day by day by day, week by week by week, month by month by month, you'll see the magic of your dreams and plans turning into reality. It's an incredible feeling of being in charge of your life, your surroundings, your future. It's like creating a work of art on the biggest canvas imaginable. It's creative. It's beautiful. This is powerful stuff, to dream a dream, plan for the dream, and then to watch your dream turn into reality. And what's really powerful about creating game plans is that you can see your future right before your eyes. So on those days when your energy isn't up to par, your enthusiasm is a little low, your ambition isn't pulling you, and your attitude isn't on the high side, on those days, use your game plan to see how far you've come and take time to realize just exactly where it is that you're headed for. On those days, it's your discipline and visual chain of the future that will pull you ahead. It can't possibly set you back. It'll pull you ahead. Develop a game plan for your life, and make sure that it includes more than work projects. Make sure that your game plan includes time for recreation, time for reflection, time for exercise, time for health, time for spirituality. Let's say you've developed your plan and you've penciled in writing a report from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Well, what if you don't do your best report writing this early in the morning? What if you do this kind of work best at 3 in the afternoon? Then juggle your projects around a little. Know yourself well enough to know what you do best at different times of the day, of the week, of the month. Know the best time for you to accomplish a certain type of task and schedule it during those times. You have to work with your game plan in order for it to best work for you, and you have to maintain the discipline of working your plan until what? Until you've got it down. In the end, it is your own discipline that acts as the magic catalyst to give substance and depth to your ambition, to achieve your own plans and dreams, to have what you want to have, and to become what you want to become. Your consistent self-discipline is the magic catalyst. The ultimate question cannot be whether you are going to make the fundamental disciplines your own. The ultimate question is when. With the intense and consistent application of worthy disciplines, we have the individual and collective capacity to change ourselves, our incomes, our attitudes, our lifestyles, and our effect on other people. We can change opinions, we can change leadership, we can even change the direction of our nation. We have the chance, we have the capacity, we have the answers, and we have the ability.
Thank you. It's been a long day, so quickly we'll just we're going to ask our first speaker to come and share just for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Basically, how have you been applying consistent self-discipline to help your business? 5 minutes. Let's give it up to Mrs. Taye Kuto, even as she shares. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Yes, okay. I'll just dive in. First of all, for me, when people tell me they want to go into business, I ask them, are you sure? Are you really sure? Because it might just be best for you to remain in your paid employment, because business is not for the faint-hearted. You know, for me, I know it starts with, like Ron said, it just starts with waking up in the morning and just doing what you have to do. I know for me, last year, part of the discipline I imbibed, and I know really, really helped me. I know it just says something that avoid all extreme, don't overdo things. But I needed it. I will wake up 2 a.m. I will listen to Jim. I will listen to John Maxwell. I will read, you know, then, okay, I'll do my quiet time, I'll pray. From 2 to 6 in the morning for 1 whole year, consistently. And I know that what I said, I needed that. It gave me a lift. It helped me, you know, because I know I needed it. And the truth is just that, you know, it shows in our bottom line. Whether you like it or not, you, the business, the CEO, you are the business. You know, every other person is just going to follow your lead. You know, so if you don't ground yourself, if you are not solid, forget, your business is going nowhere. You know, so for me, it's about you wake up and you go to work. Most times that there are times that it will be raining, and I will say, oh, I need to go to work. I have an appointment. And my kids will be like, Mommy, it's raining now. I say, you don't understand. I will go into the rain. You know, there are times that, man, the sun is even good. It will be stormy. My husband will ask me, sweetheart, where are you? I say, don't worry. I will say, I'm so and so. I need to meet up. You know, there will be times that clients will be like, madam, you know, I don't have time around 10. The only time I have time is 6 a.m. I say 6 a.m. I'll be there. My husband knows by 5 a.m. we're out of the house. Before 6 a.m. I'm there. You know, that's discipline. And you also show your customers, your client, that you are serious-minded, and they will take you seriously. You know, there'll be times that my kids are here. You know, they are involved. There'll be times that we'll have others and we'll walk through the night. Not just through the night, like 3 days, marathon. You don't even have time to sit down. You are eating. I'm embarrassed to say this. There are times that 3 days I won't have my baths because we are working. My kids, they'll walk. When the staff will close, they will go. My kids will continue. They will walk through the night. You know, they'll go to bed around 4 a.m., 6 a.m. They'll get up, get ready, and go to school. They will come back. They'll drop their bag, and will continue. 3-4 days we are working. Is hard work. But the truth is for me, I ask people, do you want to make a living or do you want to make a fortune? If you want to make a living, you don't need to do all that. Just take it easy. Just take it one day at a time. But if you want to make a fortune, you must work hard. Nothing will come and fall on your laps. You know, you must be willing to roll up your sleeves and work really hard. You know, let me share about the last trip. I went to Aba last year. I go to Aba all the time. But I went to Aba last year with Ituan. You know, from Port Harcourt to Aba, it's just 30 minutes trip. It's a 30 minutes trip. The road is so bad now that from Port Harcourt to Aba is like 5 hours. You know. Then we got to Aba. First of all, we didn't even know that there was anything called sit at home. We missed one day, Mondays. Then after 2 days, they were like, oh, everybody sit at home. The next day, we needed to leave Port Harcourt, Aba that day to Port Harcourt. We left Port Harcourt around 4 p.m. So now, remember, it's supposed to be 30 minutes trip. We got to Port Harcourt 1 a.m. the next day. We slept on the road. That bad road where they kidnapping, banditry, everything, we were there. And it was asking me, when are we going back to Aba? I said, so you want to go back? But the truth is just that's the only option we have for now. You know, there's nothing we can do. You can't fly into Aba. What we do, we fly to Port Harcourt. Then from Port Harcourt, you know, we go. So now, I was asking my sister, this road, he said, see, the road is even worse than before. So it might now take like 6-7 hours, a 30-minute trip, you know. But the truth is just that for someone who is not, if you are not disciplined, you just say, see, please, let me just go and do something else. And that's, you know, let me also talk about that. It takes discipline to focus on your crafts. You just decide that, okay, do you know what? I want to be selling bole. And every day, I will go to the market. I will come and roast my bole. Okay, if people want it fried, I will fry it. If they want it boiled, I'll boil it, you know. But it's easy for you to say, my neighbor is selling okrika, and they are selling well. Okay, let me add bole here. Let me go and buy second hand and add. Then you see that your neighbor there selling bag. At the end of the day, it's like light that diffused. We have no strength. You are doing too much. But if you focus on that your planting, your bole you are doing, the day in Aso Rock, they are looking for who is doing bole, your name will come up. Because they know, everybody knows you. Everybody, they are calling you Yabole. Everybody's called Auntie Bole. Everybody knows you, that's your craft. It takes discipline to just stay one place and face your front. Just continue. You know, it might take time, but before you know it, you become a master in your craft. And that is when you just sit down, you get a call. You know, there was this time, we do, you know, what I do is throw pillow. There was a day I was coming to church, I got a message. I just got a message, and I'm not sure, these people might be, the message seems like, 419. But I said, the person will not come, at least it's a text message now. The person is not going to come and thief me from church. I replied. It turned out that it's a shop in the UK, and they reached out to me. I was like, okay, how did you get my number? And they were like, somebody said, somebody in a meeting, they were looking for someone who could do really nice finishing, and so my name came up, and, you know, I was like, okay, I don't make dresses, you understand? I do accessories, pillow, and, you know, but I introduced a brother in church who makes clothes really well. And they've been doing that business for almost 2 years. The brother couldn't meet up. I had to call a sister who used to be here, who is now in Lagos, say, come and take. What I'm just trying to say is that they know I sew. They know I sew. You know, but it just came up, and they contacted me. What I'm just trying to say is, when you focus on your crafts, you know, I know Kike worked with her recently, and she almost cried. You know, because, you know, I have clients who have international clients. That job must be done well. You must ask her now. Initially, she was like, I have a baby. I said, you have a baby, but you want money. You have to work. It has to be. But at the end of the day, she was so happy when she saw the picture online. When she saw the pictures online, she was so happy. So I told her, I said, see, that's how you separate yourself. Hard work. When you have one opportunity, that might just be the opportunity you need. That might just be the opportunity of a lifetime. Kill yourself. Give your best. And you will see how, you know, how things will turn around in your business. Just one opportunity can turn your business around. You know? Okay, let me talk about the area of finances. Finance. You know, separate your money from your business money. If you want to go far, you might have all these jobs, international job, they are paying you. If you don't separate your money from your business money, nothing. That business will nosedive. You know, at times some of my friends say, Taye, you have money. I say, no, I don't have money. Now my work has money. I don't have money. I can't even afford to buy myself a car. Yeah, my work can buy me a car, but me, personally, I don't have money. We must think about our business that way. We must think about our finances that way. If not, we will not go anywhere. You know, for me, I know one thing I try to keep, thanks to my husband, I just try to keep my books. You know, last year, no, 2 years ago, we got this grant, this Facebook grants. And it was because our books was in order. You know, they scrutinized, they went up and down, and we got that grant. You know, why? Because our book was in place. You know, so no matter how small your business is, right, just take a book. All you just need, just take a notebook and just write out your whatever. And then you want to prepare, just try. You know, even if you're not making profit, just file. What we do, we file every year until we start making profit, until we start paying taxes. Just keep filing. You know, another thing is pay yourself. Pay yourself. You know, separate yourself. Once you make money, tell yourself, okay, my salary is 10,000 naira. You know, if you want to borrow the money before the end of the month, borrow the money. You finish. You know, but if you discipline yourself and, you know, for me, I have my salary. Once it's finished, it's finished. So, because I know myself, I will not allow it to finish. I will plan my money, you know, well. I know last week, someone owed me money. So, you know, she was going to pay me. I looked at my account. I saw that, I have, this money is plenty. But I didn't get any alert. But I said, how come I have this kind of money? I went to the market. I started buying. I was like, praise God has answered my prayer. I don't know how this money got here, but I know that I have extra. So after buying now, I was on my way home. I called. I said, babe, how far? My money. He said, I've sent the money. I was like, which money? I said, no, you didn't say. I said, I didn't see any money. He said, I've sent the money. Our sister works with GT. They checked my account. He said, the money entered your account. You have spent it. I was like, hey, God, what do I do? How do I replace this money? I've eaten money that doesn't belong to me. No, for me, that's how disciplined I am in my finances. I am like, I can account for every 10 kobo. And the truth is just that for you, you need it to help you, you know, help you move your business forward. Another very important thing, the last point, very important, is, you know, with your business finance, you have to be integrous. You know, because most times, as a growing business, really most times you don't even have the funds to invest into your business. So you depend on taking credit facility. You know, you go, you buy fabric on credit, you buy stuff on credit. Please, if you say, I'm going to bring that money on Saturday, kill yourself. Do everything in your power. Make sure you give them that money. It will help you. Okay, let me say how, you know, let me give an example of how my business grew. You know, I started going to Aba. The first year, nobody will give you, allow you, even 1,000 extra. You must pay everything, because they don't know you. You know, they don't know you. By the second year, they know, okay, this woman comes here 4 times a year. Okay. They will just say, Taye, we don't tie your load, though. Your money, now 1 million. We add 500,000 naira worth of gas. I will send you. You say, take it. You know, you get to, once the people know that you have integrity, they'll be begging you. Say, come and take. You know, I've had people say, I want to invest into your business. I'm like, please. He said, Taye, I've had people say, Taye, come and take my money. I'll be like, no, I can't take your money because I need to know what I'm doing. If I don't, you know, I need to put plans in place so that I can pay you back your money, you know, when I say I'm going to pay back. And they say, that's why I want to give you my money. You know, so what am I trying to say is, integrity is very important. If you say, give me trade, see, on once I sell, I'll return, or on Saturday, do everything. And that's why it's important to separate your own money from your business money, so that you don't mix everything up. You don't use that person's fabric money to solve your personal problem. Then you don't know what to do. Tomorrow, you are on your own. The day you have a job that you need to do, that is going to bring in the money, nobody will give you anything. you know. So for me, I hope I've been able to make a little contribution from my experience. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. Let's give her a round of applause. I tell you, you don't know, life sharing is worth $1 million. When people share their life, they are able to actually get very vulnerable to say what they are doing. The testimony is there. If you give in your best shot, you will see the result. The Bible says, see a man who is diligent at his work. It didn't say he may, he said he will serve kings. What that means is that he's going to be prosperous in what he does. So if you are very diligent, if you work hard, if you put in your very best, for somebody to say for 1 whole year, I will wake up, I will learn, and I will apply it. Sometimes I'm almost in tears when I see some of us in church. We are saying BPM is here. People are sitting outside. They are not inside. And I'm wondering, just be here. Free hall, free AC, free learning, free sharing. We don't even need that video. Just this sharing is worth a lot. But rather than that, people will sit down outside and they are not growing. Even a time to interact, we're not making use of it. It's sad. And as a church, we have too many poor people amongst us. And we want to change the narrative. I think we need to take our businesses and career more seriously. Because you're going to learn from what people did that is working for them. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Mrs. Taye Kuto for such an incredible, incredible time. Right now, we're just going to listen to another upcoming career woman. For me, this woman blows me away. You know something? I have employees, and I know how somebody said I need to put on CCTV camera checking them. I say, for crying out loud. If I have to employ you and put CCTV camera chasing you that you are not on phone, that you are doing your work, and it kills me. But I see someone who is virtually working with very little supervision, and we can see her consistent growth in her work with incredible work ethics. Please, let's give a round of applause to Miss Joy Osemeke. Our own Joy Osemeke. She may not be on top right now, but she's going somewhere. Let me tell the church, I'm looking to taking her away from my own business. But because now church, I see they consider her. You see that she's going to come mentor my admin lady, and that's so that she can really see how serious the business is. Madam, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like he said, I'm still a work in progress, and I'm still growing, I'm still learning. I don't know it all. And for me, I see discipline as having a goal, being focused, being honest, being consistent, and plan. Plan. You have to continue planning. You can't stop planning. When I got this job, I know before I started working, I used to see Dr. Abaton from afar as someone that is very harsh. And then me, I'm very calm and quiet. I see him as someone that will have challenge, with working with him. But, well, he's not that kind of a person. Working with him, I just got to realize that he knows that you know what to do, and he expects you to do the right thing. That's just it. And after getting that, and working with him became easy and became very sweet because we enjoy ourselves. When he's around, we gist, we laugh, we play. And no need to fight, no need to quarrel, no need to do all of that. So, like I said, I'm still a work in progress. What helps me is to before I started working, I had a plan. I had a goal. The goal was to go there, serve God, you know, give your service, render your service as much as you can, and grow. Most importantly, improve in your skill. I had little or less knowledge about administrative career. I only worked once when I was serving, and when I finished serving, I told myself that I would never, ever work for anybody again. So I went into the fashion. I love fashion. I love dressing. So I went there and I started my business. But at a point in my life, the business wasn't growing as much as it ought to, and I became bored. And I felt like I need something. I can't just be there having nothing to do. So I had to go search for a job. And when I got this opportunity, I saw it as a privilege, you know, to serve. And for me, whatever is worth doing well. So I can't come here because it's church. I'll start saying, they will pity me now, they will show mercy on me, it doesn't matter. No, that's not the mindset I use in working for church. I saw it as a job, and I saw it as, I needed to be professional. And in order for me to be professional, I had to work. I had to put in effort, you know, to get to where I am today. I had to grow. I had it in mind to grow and to develop my skills. So that's what I focus on. No matter the challenge, no matter the pressure that comes with my kind of job, I had a focus. And the focus was to develop my skills, not for now, but for future purpose. You know, I never can tell where I will see myself tomorrow. And the skill I'm learning here today is a lot. And I'm still open and willing to learn more. You know, so that's the kind of heart I have, to learn and to keep on learning. I can't learn more than enough. No, I can't learn enough. I have to continue learning and keep learning, you know, for future. So that's why I kept me going. And I don't have much to say. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, our own Joy Osemeke. I particularly brought her so that you can challenge those of us who may feel that we are small. Joy has only started, but our dedication, our focus, our discipline is evident. Joy, while everybody is spending time, she's running around making sure they are signing before anybody goes. Sometimes I just sit down and I look at how she's running around and say, wow. Irrespective of whether you are eating, they give her food, she go and keep it. No, she doesn't have time right now. I entered the church office. I saw them, whatever. She looked at me. I said, do you guys should I excuse you guys? Say, yes, sir, please. Because maybe they were doing what I just moved out. Fantastic woman. She's dedicated to her work. I really want to tell you that Joy will go places. I tell you, she's just started. She's going places. We deliberately picked her so that she can inspire those who are just starting. So that you are not seeing those who are already up there. And you are wondering, how can I get there? But a Joy, we have not brought Mr. Okwe Babalola to come and tell us how she talk. No. Let's bring a Joy Osemeke, who is a single lady, who is, really amazingly doing fantastic amongst us. And I really want to tell us that, look, see a man who is diligent at his work, he will serve kings. Sincerely, I spoke with some of my my admin lady. I said, look, I'm going to bring somebody that both of you really need to check things out. I should not all the time telling you, put your phones away, don't be on Facebook, don't do your work. You're paid to do that. Nobody runs around anybody. If not, they'll throw you out. Quite a number of people are not growing, and people are not recommending them, and they're actually not moving ahead in their career and in their business because they are lazy. They are not applying themselves. They are not disciplined. They are not dedicated. Sincerely, this is actually more how much we can actually bring today. But I want to tell us as a church, we want to change the narrative. We want to change the narrative. We want to bring up people who are more disciplined, who are focused on what they are doing. We want to have more of Mrs. Taye Kuto, who will spend one whole year learning about her trade so that she can get it right. Because the more we have short people, then we have less poor people amongst us. We want to have more Joy Osemeke amongst us. We don't want to have people who are just going by. They are just moving the way wind carries them. It's not right. The Bible says Jesus did all things well. So you know what? We got to do things properly and do it very well. That is the spirit of BPM, Business and Professional Ministry of ICOC. And I want to thank every one of us for being here. Don't worry. Just a few of us attended today. Don't worry. In fact, somebody ran to me and said, they're already going. I said, don't worry. Some don't understand where we're going. Where we're going is massive. And so, I think big, but I can start small. Even if it was 5 people here, it would have been worth it. Don't worry. We're starting small, but we're going somewhere. We want to change the narrative for Abuja Church and the entire northern churches. Whenever we're having this program, we're going to tell all of the churches and all of the seed fellowship to hook on so that we can really inspire ourselves to do greater things. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to call on, I saw this man came in and he's gone out again. I wanted to call Frank. Frank, if you can hear me, I want you to come and just give a vote of thanks and prayer, the two together. If Frank is here, but if Frank is not here, who else? Okay, let me call, I'm trying to see members of BPM. Okay, let me call Joseph. Joseph, are you around? Is Joseph around? Okay, let's have Kinney to come and give us vote of thanks. 1 minute vote of thanks. Come and say vote of thanks before he gives us a closing prayer. Kinney will do vote of thanks. Frank will give us a closing prayer. You want to do vote of thanks? Let Kinney do vote of thanks. Frank will come and give us closing prayer. Kinney, let me say something. Kinney likes to do all the work behind the scene. Fantastic woman. Give her a round of applause. Fantastic. She will challenge me. Are we still doing? Hey, sir, what can I do? So I say, the what you have done is enough. She be the only one to show me. He say, okay, is there anything? Should we plan? Should we segment? Hey, I say, I don't get. No, fantastic. Give her a round of applause. And also Joseph, just really taking charge. Fantastic, Joseph. He's taking it to higher heights. He's not just doing only, say, let us do Zoom. But he said, you know what, we can stream, we can do this, we can do that. Fantastic. Give all of, and then also give Muhyiddin. Muhyiddin really did not have a phone that was, online compatible. But he just keep telling me, you know what, I'll soon get it. And immediately he got the phone. He told me, just send me a text. He said, that's my number. I said, fantastic, welcome. Fantastic, it's nice to have you, Muhyiddin. We're really happy to have you. And then we now have 2 people that we've joined to them. Oyinda, learn from Kinney. Babs, follow Muhyiddin. So that you guys can you can learn. Thank you so much for this. Let's have Kinney give us vote of thanks. And Frank will give us closing prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, first, I just want to say thanks to God. It's only in the kingdom that we can get this. Like, people pay so much to get this knowledge and information. So I think in our hearts, I just pray that we can be grateful to God for the things we get to benefit from in his kingdom. I also want to thank the speakers, those who share their wisdom and knowledge with us. Thank you so much, Auntie Taye Kuto. Thank you so much, Joy. I mean, I've learned so much from you both. Thank you for teaching us and encouraging and challenging us. Thank you for the business and professional ministry and everyone involved. Mr. Frank, Mr. Moses Obisheso, Mr. Frank, and everyone else. Thank you to everyone who attended. I hope and I pray that you've learned one thing or the other. And I pray that we can all put something into practice. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Please, let's rise as we go to God in prayer. Father, thank you for all of the things that have happened today. Thank you for this meeting that just ended. Help us to get better with self-discipline and help us to put them into practice. Take us home safely. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.